right. It is, in fact, Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a call right now, 1-800-252-1025. By the way, we take your emails. The other day we did a bunch of emails, and they were great. Lifecoach@KZOK.com, but we'll take your phone calls right now at 1-800-252-1025. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let us start with Jay in Newcastle. Good morning, Jay.
Hey, Danny. Good morning. How are you?
I'm incredibly well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, so check this out. I smoke probably about a pound of weed a month.
Okay, a pound of weed a month. You realize that's an incredible amount of weed.
An unbelievable, incredible amount of weed. That's a daily basis. I smoke morning, noon, and night.
What are you spending on? Was a quarter pound a week? What are you spending on that?
Quarter pound a week. Well, you know, I can go through about $1,400 in a month worth of medical marijuana.
Well, worth is a strong term on this one. I want you to know, I find that hard to believe that you're smoking that much pot. Is that all you do when you're home? You just smoke pot?
Well, not just at home. This is 24 hours a day. I have a vaporizer in the vehicle. I take tablets throughout the day.
Now, my daughter takes THC drops under her tongue.
I make those. I have those with me now.
They stink up my whole house. I couldn't believe how do drops stink. I couldn't believe. I went down to a room and I knock, knock, knock. That's me knocking. Hey, Isabella, are you smoking pot in there? And she said no, but she's got a prescription for it. These THC drops that but they stink. All right, so you're spending. I'm going to guess where do you? Don't tell me where you work. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I'm a professional, so I am a professional.
Can you afford this?
I can't afford this. I have a high tolerance. You cannot tell if I am if I'm high or not. Nobody can tell. I'm not goofy. I'm not loopy. I'm high right now. You know, what can I say?
God, because that's the thing. When you said it, you said, I'm high right now. When you were on the phone, I was going, there's no way you're smoking this much pot. You're totally energetic. But if you are not slothful, you're not. All right, so what is your question for me? Besides, by the way, if it's, should I stop smoking this much pot? The answer is absolutely yes. And I give great leeway to marijuana. I don't have anything against it. It's cocktails. It's the same as cocktails, maybe even a little better. You go home, you have a couple of cocktails, a doobie, or a vaporizer, whatever you're talking about. I just have no problem with that. But when you're talking about this kind of money, I can't imagine that it's good for you and your future. So what is your question for me, man?
Well, I'm changing careers,
right?
And they're doing a pre-drug screening for employment, and this is a career that I really want to move into. Huge difference in pay. I'm really freaking out about the drug test.
Don't worry, we'll get you through it. Here's the thing, though. You're jumping ship into a job that requires drug tests for everybody, correct?
Yes.
All right, and so you want to know what do you actually want to know? What's your specific question?
You know, I've been doing all kinds of research on the net. It says eat red meat, don't eat red meat. Drink water, don't drink water.
Yeah,
it's back and forth. So I don't know. You're the expert.
I am the expert, and here's the thing: as far as taking the test legitimately, going in, doing what you're told, taking this test and waiting for the results, you're busted, and there's very little you can do with it. Here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to rig it. Now, I don't know exactly the circumstances under which your drug test will be administered. When I was on probation, I used to take mine, and I went in clean the first couple of times till I figured out a way to rig it. They give you, there's strips on it that will tell you the temperature of it, and that's the thing. It's got to be exactly, well, not exactly, in the ballpark of 99 to 102 degrees. It's actually hotter than your body. So if you go in there with somebody else's urine, you're going to get caught that way. Plus, you don't know what equipment they're using, because this is the thing people never think of. You can go buy it at Rite Aid. It's just little jars, temperature strips, pH strips, things like that. So you can get redundant things for it. But I think you're going to have to rig it completely off board. Now, I've said to people to do this, and I've never gotten a complaint call, but I make it clear because I've never done this one. I've heard it works every time. Before you go in, as close to time as you go in, but it can dry on there, you'll be fine. Dip your pinky in bleach, straight up bleach. And when you go in, just tap it up to your little knuckle in the specimen that you're delivering, and it should cancel all your, it'll give them an inconclusive result, which is not the same as a dirty. And by the time you get results back, you should be able to clean your system, because pot, as we've mentioned, is the one that stays in your system the longest. It's going to be in there about a month, no matter what you do. And the one that says don't drink a bunch of water or cranberry juice or anything, they're wrong. You do when you want to get clean. You have no time to get clean, no matter what. I'm sorry about that. Cran apple juice and all that stuff. Flood your kidneys not to an unhealthy point, and just keep going until the stream is crystal clear white, and then keep drinking, and you'll probably get by with an inconclusive then. And once you're inconclusive, you'll never go back to being dirty. Once they get their test and it's inconclusive, the next test is going to be negative, that you're going to be cool. Good luck with that. And maybe you can call me back up and let me know what happens, Jay. I appreciate this phone call very much.
And maybe think about cutting back.
We didn't say that in the beginning. You got to cut. The money is the only thing that bothers me.
That's a ridiculous
amount. Just
insane.
Ridiculous. I find it hard to believe, but if he said it, I believe him. He had all the answers. He knew how much it was. He knew the expense of it. He had the vaporizers. He had the tablets. I believe him. I've just never heard of that. If you called me up and said you were doing coke, I would say you're telling me that you're doing 2 ounces every week. I was going to say 1 ounce, and no, it's more than that. It's exceptional, and I've never heard of that. So good luck on that, and call me back and let me know how your test results worked out. The bleach should kill everything, and you'll be all right.
If you've got a question for the life coach, now would be the time to call 800-252-1025. Remember, if you want to lie about your name, that is A-OK. We believe it is Brian in Linwood. You're on with Danny.
Hey, Brian, how you doing, man?
Hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy?
Incredibly well.
And Sarah, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing very well, Brian.
You know what? I got a question for you. Danny, I'm kind of your age. I'm 50 years old.
Right, you are kind of my age.
Yeah, I think you're like 53.
54.
Growing up with you, saw you in the Partridge Family and all that stuff. And I've had some high times, and right now I'm in some really low times.
All right.
I've heard that you were like sleeping under a bridge and stuff like that.
I was
right
indeed. Sometimes I didn't even have the convenience or luxury of the bridge. Yeah, I've been down as low as you can go.
Now I'm sleeping in the back of my Blazer. I used to work for a very prominent company. I got a huge alcohol problem. I've just gone in and out of jobs, and I've gone to AA and stuff like that. And
right.
I don't know where to go at this point. And I've been listening to your show, and man, I'm hoping, dude, life coach, tell me something that I don't know or reinforce something that I do know?
Well, here it is. Obviously, the first thing you do is to realize you have a problem. That's not bad, my friend. Compared to a lot of people in the world, living in the back of your truck in Seattle makes you rich. I just watched a thing on the people in the Sudan. You're kicking ass over a great deal point of the world. But the first thing you need to know is you have a problem, and you agree with that. You got to get some help. That's thing number one. And I'm looking at your phone call right now. It says, I'm an alcoholic. I'm living in my truck, and I need some confidence. I'll tell you this, because I am, I've got my sobriety date tattooed on my arm. The problem is, it's 9 years ago, and I wasn't right. I talked to my daughter last night, who, kind of broke my heart a little bit, but she was telling the truth about my behavior when I was drunk, man. Then I finally got it together. I have 3.5 years right now, and I am telling you this. I no offense to great baseball players and basketball players who want to come to my school and tell me, you know what, kids, if I could do it, you could do it. No, that's not true at all. But if I can do it, then you can do it. And here's the thing. You're right. I was living in my car underneath that bridge. And now I have a nice job. I have a super nice wife. I live in Queen Anne, and my car is paid off cash. If that's the kind of confidence that you need, that it can be done. I mean, that you've said you've been to AA meetings, and I recommend this to everybody, but you have to be willing to do it. Go to your doctor, tell them exactly what you told me, and tell them that somebody turned you on to a pill called Bonaduce that will make it physically impossible for you to drink. You just won't drink. Now, there's nothing I can do to make you take that pill, but if you do, you won't be able to drink. So I think that's a great idea. And you know what? Stay at the AA meetings and things like that. The like-minded people talking about the like-minded stuff. But there's no problem to go to your doctor, say, I need the Bonaduce, and you'll be sober as long as you're willing to take that pill. And like I said, then go to AA day and talk to some friends, talk to some people that you'll be shocked how many people have your same exact story. I had nowhere to go. Nobody loved me. I live in my truck. I'm under the bridge. It's not even fascinating to these cats. They've all done it, including me. And I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. Hey, not only thank you, Brian, but hang in, buddy. And like I said earlier to another caller, feel free to call back and give me a heads up on how things turned out for you, man. I'll see you later.
800-252-1025. That's the number to call if you've got any kind of question at all for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. He can help you make that call now. Or email lifecoach@kzok.com. We've got an email from Danelle in Graham who writes, I gave up a child in 1993 when I was 17. I thought of him every day and I looked for him off and on. 6 weeks ago, I finally found him, but unfortunately, he had committed suicide in 2010. I contacted his mother via Facebook and she agreed to meet with me and share photos of him. But now I want more. I want to see videos just to see him alive. I don't want to be a pain to his family, but I'm feeling empty. Should I pursue this or be happy with what I've seen?
If the do-all, end-all, and thank you very much for this email. If the do-all, end-all, because I can see, I've seen a still photograph and things like that, you know what, I want to see video. If that's the end of the day, fine. I don't believe it will be. I think you're going to see more. I think you're going to see check stubs from where he got paid, report cards that gave him a gold star on this. And I don't think you should do that to the family. And I'll tell you, you want to. I would never really normally recommend advice from anywhere else but me. I'm the do-all, end-all of Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. But my wife just forced me against my will to watch Philomena. Is that the way you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
My mom saw it and told me all about it.
Chick gives away her. Spoiler alert: he dies in the end. Philomena gives her kid away in a. Everybody's seen it by now. It was out 4 years ago.
Just broke Michael C. Jones's heart. It was out last year.
Same thing. So this lady, Dame somebody.
Judi
Dench gives up her kid in a convent. She doesn't give it up. It's taken from her. And she agonizes for the next 50 years, day in and day out, to find where this kid is, why they did it, why they take away my kid. And there's other stuff. These nuns in this movie were like really the villains. But anyway, she finally finds him. She goes to America to find this kid that she had a really long time ago. And it turns out he was at one point, because the picture is shaking hands with Reagan. He worked in the Reagan White House and shook hands with the president. He was a big deal lawyer. And then she's got a picture of him with his boyfriend. And everybody says, oh, and she's completely cool with that, which I was surprised. I thought she'd freak out. And then she turns out, and he's dead of AIDS. And everybody just goes, well, that's not the happy ending I was thinking of right there. And she cries and she's horrified. And I can't imagine that there's that much of a difference between being tormented enough to kill yourself and the horrible ramifications of AIDS taking you down. It's really, and she, in fact, gets along with her life, and she has to. Now, I wouldn't normally pick a movie, but not only is everybody in it so good, but it's almost your story exactly. You could get a look at it. She's knocking on everybody's door, hey, man, because I want to see his 10th grade report card. And they say, no, man, you need to go away. I would suggest heavily that you watch this movie, one thing, and it might make you feel better. And two, you're going to have to get a little closure on your own. You don't want to be saying, I want to see his report. I want to see the outfit he went to prom. And it's just not your job. It's not your business. And I'm very sorry, but you've been given a little look at him, and the parents were cool to open that up with some pictures of. That's, in my opinion, all you get. And no matter what you get, it won't fill that hole in your heart. It won't. It'll never be enough. Stop now. Hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. I appreciate all those phone calls. Thank you very much. Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.